So, I guess,
Start talking. Let's do it.
guys, this is the welcome to our very first. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We don't know what this is gonna be. I don't know what this is gonna be. You can call it a podcast for now, right? But welcome to it. You're welcome. Our goal, really, throughout this whole series, again, whatever is gonna morph into, is just we want to give good advice, empower people to leverage real estate, get into home ownership. Tricks or tips or information of what's going on with the market right now. So this is just what's gonna be. Well, you're welcome to join for the ride. Obviously, my name is Nestor Caussade, mortgage broker, Edge Home Finance. Right. You can follow us on Instagram. Where we're most active at. Handle is at DFW underscore mortgage pros. DFWmortgagebroker.com on the website. But yeah, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, to kick it off in an amazing manner, we're having a longtime friend of mine here, Mr. David Auren. He is a realtor. He works with a lot of investor, developer. He has projects here in Texas. He has affiliates outside of Texas. So I think it was just a very fitting person to have on the show here, podcast, whatever you want to call it.
Listen, I just came for a conversation and I don't have my coffee here.
Exactly. So without further ado, but yeah, we're gonna be talking a little bit about his journey into real estate, right? His experience in building and development. If you are a realtor, an agent that wants to also grow into that side of the business, amazing, amazing contact to have. He has had a couple of master classes already here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Most recent, in one of your luxury listings that you build yourself as well. So just great connection to have, learn from. We're going to talk a little bit about market trends. Pick a little bit on his brain on what's going on with the market right now. Some advice that we potentially could have for people that are wanting to get into a home, leverage real estate, etc. Um, Strategies for building generational wealth through real estate, right? So it's
That's the
something
biggest.
that's the biggest, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we'll talk a little bit about us too. So
Hey, listen, it's your thing. Do it.
it's my thing
I'm
too.
yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
All right. So I mean, before we get into the nitty gritty, you and I met, and this is gonna be a great testament to the power of social media, right? Because
Yep.
you and I actually met through social media, right? Everybody is aware. Everybody knows what Tinder is, right? So it's an application for people that are. Yes, it wasn't Tinder. No. And I told him, you know what? He's not my cup of tea. I'm sorry, dude, but let's do business. Let's do real estate together. So,
Sure.
but anyway, no, it was Instagram. And from there we developed a great friendship. We're working now. What was the story behind that? You probably remember
No,
that
of course I
a little
remember.
bit more than I do.
So actually, I came across one of your posts
Hmm.
in the beginning when I barely started
Hmm.
with Keller Williams. I joined Keller Williams Urban Dallas. I think it was the end of 2018,
Hmm.
and new agent on the market. I was brand new to Dallas as well,
Hmm.
and
California,
I
right? You
came
had
from
moved.
Los
Yeah,
Angeles. Yeah,
that's
I
right.
came from Los Angeles. I was 16 years in California,
Hmm.
and then I moved to Dallas, and I decided to venture into real estate. Decided, wanted, needed. Can interpret that however you want.
Hmm.
But I didn't have any sphere, and I didn't know anybody.
Hmm.
Obviously, my accent gives me away. I'm not from here. English is not my first language.
Hmm.
And I saw that you posted something in Hebrew,
Hmm.
and you were a loan officer, and that obviously like, oh, that's my comfort zone, Hebrew. Hey, he knows Hebrew. It's an Israeli mortgage broker. Let
No.
me talk to him and see what we can do together. And I reached out to you back in Hebrew, and you were clueless, like, what do I want? And Google Translate was barely doing its thing back then.
Yeah.
But that's how the conversation started.
Yeah,
You
I
posted
remember.
something in Hebrew, and
Hmm.
I replied to it, and we started a conversation.
Yeah, I
That's really
remember.
what it was.
Little did you know it was just a good old Mexican on the other end.
Good old Mexican playing the violin and dancing salsa at the
Yeah,
time.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was.
That was like 40 pounds ago. I mean, 8 years ago.
It's okay. I kept those 40 pounds. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, but over the years, we've developed a good friendship, right? And that's definitely, I think that's definitely helped get in terms of like working together, right? Because
Mhm.
ultimately you have to be comfortable with somebody having those tough conversations, right?
You
We both know real estate. There's always issues that are gonna come up, right?
always every
Always.
transaction has its own spin, and you need to be okay having those conversations,
Yep.
handling them on both sides, on the receiving side and on the giving side.
Yep.
So not be afraid to having a tough conversation with your partners, because that's really what we are. We are partners.
Yes.
Um, and also knowing when you screw up, when you
Yep.
fuck up, hey, own up to it
Yeah.
and put your money where your mouth is, right? So we are
Absolutely.
responsible. We are playing with people's lives and with people's savings. This is not something that should be taken lightly, and should be called out. And if you make a mistake, own up to it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, the friendship that we have is you call me out whenever things don't happen, right? So it's happened before, but ultimately real estate about making solutions, right? Solving
Absolutely,
the
that's what it
problem.
is. 400%.
Exactly, right? So as long as we get there to the destination safely, sometimes we have a little turbulence, right? But we're okay having those conversations.
Conversations.
I
That's
don't
all it
get
is.
offended, you
Yes.
don't get
No,
offended.
it's nothing is personal. And
Exactly, exactly. So, and also we're colleagues, right? Even though we're on different part of real estate, right? I'm more on the mortgage finance side. You're on the actual real estate side, right? But we're constantly bouncing ideas back and forth. You have an issue with a transaction. I give you my 2 cents back and forth, right?
absolutely, yeah.
So that's awesome. And obviously, you are the owner of Auren Realty Group, right? So we have since expanded to working with your team, who are amazing to work with. I mean, so you guys can check this picture out back here. It's a good-looking team too, may I add? So I've worked with pretty much all of them: Aaron Hall, Jessica Greer, Destiny Jimenez, your wife Sandy. Amazing character. She is great brains behind the PR portion of Auren Realty Group, right?
She way more than that, but
Way more
yes.
than that. No, yeah, for sure. Kim Cow and Mr. Angel Chavez. So it's a great bunch to work. To do business with. We always have time, fun when we're together.
If you don't have fun in business, then you're in the wrong business. We have to have fun, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into the nitty gritty, right? We kind of already touched a little bit about kind of how you moved here into Dallas, right? But why real estate? What was your motivation getting into real estate? How did you make the jump? I mean, if I remember correctly, you were in a completely different line of business before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I was in the textile industry. I was in the clothing industry
Mm-hmm.
back in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
In the sub market of the off price, I was working with two of my old partners,
Mm-hmm.
buying closeouts and
Mm-hmm.
selling them to major retailers.
Mm-hmm.
Did that for 7 years with them. Before that, I was also in the textile industry in the retail side
Mm-hmm.
of the business. Been doing a lot of international business as well when we were on the wholesale manufacturing from Asia, Middle East. We did a lot of it. So one day my wife got an opportunity here in Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized that, okay, I'm tired of arguing and negotiating for nickels and dimes, and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
We moved to Dallas. I was able to take about a year and a half off and just chill with my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like recenter myself,
Yeah.
understanding where I am, where I want to go. And I understood that real money could be made in real estate. I mean, that's where most people make their wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to approach that not just from the owning a home or a small investment property, but I really want to be part of the industry, understand it. The more you understand the system, the better you can optimize your moves.
Yeah, of course.
So I decided to get my license, and you start from the bottom. So I was in a certain position for 15, 16 years,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly at the age of almost 40 at the time, starting from the bottom as a brand new agent,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing anybody, trying to understand the system, who is who, what is what.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that this is the place to be.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of houses before, and I had different experiences with the agents that helped me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the areas that could have been optimized, and they were not. And I decided to make that difference on the retail side, on the let me help you buy a house, let me help you sell your house.
Right.
I was used to different standards that
Mm-hmm.
were not in this industry what I was exposed to,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to change that. So that's what we did.
When you said you were used to different standards, you mean like in California, the service that you got was
Even in
great,
California,
optimal, or
even
subpar?
here, even here. I mean, the agents themselves. I mean, they are great individuals. The ones that helped me to build that, but the brokerages that they work with worked to a different standard, and that wasn't what I was used to or how I saw business. I saw business different, and the way you put the principal, the buyer, the seller, whoever it is, and I wanted to make that difference, and I wanted to see if I could bring my experience into this industry. And so far, so good. I mean, I guess I'm making a mark.
I mean, that's a way understatement too. So that's awesome. The experience that you got working in the textile industry, I mean, those were skills that you were able to still adapt into the real estate market and made you successful. That's what you're saying?
Yes. I mean, again, it's not just the textile industry, it's the background before that, my military experience. So I brought my military experience. I brought my negotiating over the last 15, 16 years in the textile industry and all of that into real estate. And I was able to build a system that makes sense and operate at my standards.
Yes, of course.
And I'm trying to, again, with my team, everybody's working at the same protocols. We know what we're doing. Everything goes through our checklist. And
I mean, it's all relationship based, right?
It's about everything. Everything starts with relationship and integrity. And it's funny how much integrity is something that's supposed to be so. Of course, all agents need to have full integrity.
Yeah.
I hear stories over stories over stories how people are disappointed from their agents, which is the ABC of business. Just, if you say you're going to do something, do it.
Yes. It should be, and it always gets advertised as it is there, but reality is completely
different. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as those hard conversations are coming into the pictures, people not answering their calls, they're disappearing, and it's very frustrating.
Absolutely. That's something that I always bring out, in conversations and even on social media too, is that obviously you want to work with somebody that's local, somebody that has a good reputation, that gets, referral from a realtor, right? Because realtors work with a lot of mortgage brokers. They, same thing on my end, right? I work with a lot of realtors, and we know the ones that we have a good connection with, but also are good at what they do. They have integrity, right? So absolutely, you want to make sure that you work with somebody that has your best interest at heart, right?
Yeah.
I tell people sometimes that if I wouldn't do this loan or originate a loan or program for my grandmother in that way, I don't feel comfortable doing it for you, right? So, just having that empathy with people and just let it, integrity it's a big thing for sure.
Yeah.
Something that you don't see
you should
often.
see way more often. And
Yes.
this, again, ABC of business, but I'm here to talk about my business. I cannot judge anybody else.
Yeah, of course. I get you. And that's why I like you too. You're always very humble, man. I like that. I like that. Now, that was you starting us as an agent, right? Now, from our conversations in the past, obviously, I knew that a team was nowhere near inside, or maybe a small thought, but that wasn't like your goal, right? I'm David Auren, I'm starting as a realtor, I'm starting a team right now, type of thing, right?
No, it wasn't a team. It was more of a brand. I wanted to have a brand,
Yes.
and I know the value of a brand, and that was the important. That was from day one. I will build my own brand. A team was not there. I saw teams. I saw really large teams. I saw small teams. And I really, when I spoke with the team leaders and I tried to understand their business model, I never really understood why an agent will join a team in those criteria. And we had a lot of friendly conversations, and you know me, I'll ask the questions. People might not like it, but I'll still ask it. And unless you give me an answer, I'm not letting go. I want the answer.
And you put them on the spot and make it happen, you'll get it.
And again, I don't care about who's in the room and who I'm talking with. I'll get my answer. And I never understood the dynamics, and I figured that teams lacked integrity, to say the least. And this is why I said, okay, I'll just do me and go from there. And I was able to show that doing things differently, doing things my way, are able to yield results and good results.
Yes.
And that the first agent that joined me was Kimberly. And it was after the pandemic. And she said, hey, and I'll never forget that. She said, you proved that there is another way to do things. I want in.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, well, let's go. Thank you for the faith. And suddenly you feel, oh, now the responsibility. I'm not only in charge of my family now and my career and everything, but now I'm in charge of the success of that agent.
Yes.
And that's a big responsibility.
Yes.
That's a very big responsibility. I mean, I'm not, it's not about, hey, just come join my team and get back like a split from your commissions. Mm-hmm. It's not that. People are putting their faith in you for you to guide them and to lead them into success.
Yes.
For me, it's big.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna tell you from my even though maybe you and I haven't never told you this, perhaps I don't remember, but people do gravitate to you as a great coach, right? Because I have learned a lot from you, seeing you interact with other people, right? And you have given me tips in the past, right? I don't know if you remember this or not. It might have been in fleeing conversation, right? But you're a good coach. You're a great coach, right?
Thank you.
It's the reason why you are doing things different, but people gravitate towards you, right? Because you take that responsibility and you want to genuinely make them successful, right?
Absolutely. I mean, but this is the question that you're asking right now. It's not for me to answer. You need to ask them. Why did they join?
Absolutely.
It's not for me to say, oh, people, I don't know that. But
yes.
People come and if we click, if we connect, then great, we can work together. I had a lot of people who said, I want to join your team. I want to do this. And said, okay, good. I'm not recruiting. I'm not looking to get more responsibility on myself.
Yes.
I really wanted to be on. I don't want to take more than I can chew.
Right.
So I'm committed to each and every one of those agents on my team, to their success. I'm a very big believer is that you can bring the horse to the river, but you cannot make them drink.
Yes.
So whenever they are ready on my side, then they got what they need to succeed. They have all the tools to succeed, plus the coaching on my side. And I can tell you that each individual on my team is very, very committed and is very driven. And I'm very proud of each and every one of them.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to speak for them, right? But I have some friends. They're obviously my friends as well. I have some great relationships with some of the agent in his team, and that's what I hear through the grapevine. We'll ask them. We'll get it straight from the horses. I'm not calling them horses. No, we'll get it straight from them at a later time. So, Destiny Jimenez. Anyways. But yeah, no, I know they respect you, and I know they've made the change because you are a great coach. But anyway, so now that's the establishment of Auren Realty Group. Now, the thing that you're most known for, that a lot of agents want to get to know you for, right, is that you've gotten into the building and development gig, right? How did that come about? I mean, you go because some people have some very long, successful careers just buying and selling houses, right?
Yeah.
They never make the jump over to building, developing, investors, and things like that. How did that come about?
So basically, it's a build-up principle. The idea was, when we founded the team, was to redefine the role of the real estate agent in a transaction, and to really understand what is the value that the client needed. Value. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, my value proposition is this, 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 and that," but we don't know the real person that needs to define what is the value is the buyer, the seller, the client, the principal, right?
Right.
So it started with something very simple as asking, "Hey, what is it that you need?" And see if I want to do that or not, because we have a choice. We don't need to take on any client. And if your expectations for me as your business partner, because we're not getting higher, we're partnering up, even with buyers and sellers. We're partnering up with them. We stay in our lane. We know exactly what's our role and what's our responsibilities and duty, and respect their idea. And we took that concept into the investors. Simple question is, what is that investor need? Every investor is in a different stage of their business career. Some of them are starting up and they need a rental portfolio. They're buying their first investment property. Another one just want to venture as from being a subcontractor to becoming a GC and partnering up with an agent, and they're going to build their house. Everybody has different needs. So the idea was really to redefine what an agent can do to the client. And again, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
If you're telling me, oh, I need to find lands, I need market analysis, I need design guidance, then it's up to us to say what we can and cannot do. And if we cannot do, like you say, we are problem solvers, we need to come up and see how we can help. And this is the partnership. We are here to support any investor from any stage in their career as well. So we work with brand new investors that build their $150,000, $175,000 homes to developers that do a single family residential at $7, $8 million each. And we have quite a few of them.
Absolutely.
I think right now we have about a dozen projects that are under construction. Last time I did the numbers, we were about $30 million under construction. So.
And we're definitely going to be highlighting some of those properties. One that I'm super excited about is, I think, is the $8 or $10 million coming up with a basketball court.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, this one is very nice. That's my biggest development so far. Again, we are part of a development team. Success, you don't do it by yourself.
Absolutely.
We represent the real estate aspect of this developer, of my client. We are partner up with the builder, with the designer, and with him. And we are constantly having meetings on how to optimize the project from A to Z. So on our side, we are in charge of from the inception to the production and the disposition of the asset. So when we onboard, for example, an investor, inception, the idea, the production, well, there is a GC. We are not the superintendent, but we are there to make sure timelines are being respected because it's part of the business plan. And the disposition, which is the sale of the house, of the property.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's an equation, and the equation has to make sense.
Yes.
And our job with this type of developers is that we build the business plans and we connect them with the right entities that can support this business plan.
Yes.
That's the secret. That's all there is to it.
I love that. I mean, this is going to sound cliche, right? But you genuinely are a one-stop shop for investors.
Yeah.
I like that. From, like you said, the inception of the idea. We're going to actually talk a little bit more in depth about this snippet of information because we're going to have it on the next podcast, if you will.
I need to come again?
Yeah, you're going to have to come again. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But, inception, the idea, right, of making an investment deal work. Sometimes people lack the imagination, right?
Oh, yeah.
How we're gonna make. They're all numbers, right? So I know that recently, not necessarily part of Auren Realty Group, it's its own entity or whatnot, but your wife is a big factor in creating that design aspect for investors. Yeah. And you guys are also helping investors with that aspect as well, right?
Correct.
I mean, you can divulge as much information as you want right now or later. We can expand, but that's amazing.
I think it'll be great if you talk to her directly.
Oh, we will.
Her and Destiny are partner up in a new entity that they formed. They are already working on multiple properties.
Absolutely. I like that. So, you know what? Let's touch on one last little point here. So, what are some of the things that you're seeing right now in real estate market, where we're at? Where is it headed? Because I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier, right? I'm seeing a lot of seller concessions coming through on contracts. To investors, people that are wanting to buy a home for the very first time, what is your advice? Buy right now?
Buy 5 years ago.
Buy 5 years ago.
That's the truth in real estate.
Yes.
The best time to buy is always 5 years ago, and people need to start. You're going to be paying somebody's debt, and the question is, are you going to be paying your debt or your landlord's debt? So the question is, what is the alternative? If you're telling me that you can live with your parents and you have no overhead costs and you're not losing money, then that might be a consideration, and we can talk about this. If this is the right thing for you, this is the right time. But understand that with prices going up and inflation going up, you don't have your money working for you.
Absolutely.
So you do want to have something that help you grow, help your money grow. And this is what a lot of people are not understanding. Everybody wants to buy their dream house as their first home. You need to buy something. You need to start.
Yes.
Everything starts somewhere. Your very first car was not your Ferrari or whatever car is that you like. I drive a Prius. I don't care. But a lot of people do have those things. The first one is whatever you need to get it started. And you cannot start it early enough.
Absolutely.
The answer is always yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? We're obviously running out of time, but we're gonna talk a little bit more on the next one. But once you have that asset, you can leverage that at any stage in life. Whether you're going into retirement, your family, you're a young guy. You even at the high net worth individuals, right?
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
leverage that to grow.
Absolutely,
right?
it's a tool.
It's super, super, super important, and something that you and I are both passionate about. And That's why we're giving the gospel to people, so to speak, right?
Whoever
real
wants to
estate.
listen.
Yes, whoever wants to listen, But anyways, guys, I think we're getting, time is getting away from us. You and I could probably have another hour conversation on this. But if you are an agent in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and this is something that you're gonna want to grow into, or contact this guy, man. This guy is a wealth of knowledge. If you're an investor, Texas, outside of Texas, and you want to start, growing your investment portfolio or starting out, contact Auren Realty Group, right? I know obviously you're on Instagram, right? So Auren Realty Group is your handle, right?
Auren Realty Group is the team Instagram. David Auren is my personal Instagram handle. Yeah, I'm not that fancy on all the social media.
We're gonna get you there.
Okay.
But it was a pleasure having you here,
Thank
man,
you,
dude. Like I said, great conversations, and this is going to turn into a great relationship as we continue to morph whatever we're going to morph
whatever
into, right?
One step at a time.
But anyways, guys, so pleasure for you being here, entertaining us for a few minutes. Like I said, my name is Nestor Caussade, DFW Mortgage Pros, here in Dallas, Texas. Anywhere, we're licensed in multiple states. So if you want to start getting into options of buying a home, figuring out how you can get into your first investment property, right? Your first primary home, we specialize in down payment assistance programs. We have a great 0% down payment option.
Amazing programs.
Amazing. You couple that with the seller concessions that we're seeing right now.
Amazing programs.
It's a great time to be buying. So anyways, see you guys on the next one.